Hey, what's up and hello? Can you guys hear me? Oh, wow. Oh, okay. So a couple of you guys are already in here. Yes, yes, yes. Hey, Tragically. Hey, Antoinette. Hey, Steph. Who else is in here? Let me know if you guys can hear me and say hello in the chat. Oh, what's going on, Tragically? This week has been draining, I think, for a lot of people, including myself. Not to mention my damn job, child. Look, my job get on my nerve, y'all. Hence another reason why I probably shouldn't show my face, because y'all may hear me vent sometimes about my damn job. Hey Ellie. Hey, Jonna. Hey, whatever you say. Hey, baby girl. Hey, Pamela. Hey, Nicole B. What's up? Hey, Wanda. Oh yeah, it's been a draining week. Hey, Dustin. Okay, so we got some fellas coming in here. I think we need some guys in here too today, because this is gonna be an interesting conversation. So I'm waiting for some other people to come in, you guys. Even if you guys are just listening, if you guys could just say, hey, chat, hey, hello, so I know that you're here. Yeah, this is about to be an interesting topic. So, while we're waiting, first things first, how many people actually listened to the podcast that I posted? Put a 1 in the chat if you actually listened to it. Put a 2 in the chat if you did not. So 1 in the chat if you actually listened to the podcast, 2 in the chat if you did not. And yes, please hit the like button when you are on your way in. Please, please, please. Thank you so much. Okay, Pamela. Oh man, Pamela, I wish you would have heard it. Oh no, you guys, twos. You guys didn't hear it? Okay, I'm wondering how much of it I can actually have you guys listen to. See, I just don't know the rules yet. I'm so new to the YouTube world. I don't know how much of it I can actually play where you guys can listen in on it. You know what? F it. I mean, worst case scenario, I'm assuming they'll just tell me that I need to take it down, right? I mean, it's not like I monetize. Right. So, I mean, at the end of the day, maybe I'll just kind of play it and we'll talk in between. Oh, Monica. Hey, Monica. I rang the doorbell on the way in. Thank you, Monica. Hey, Savage. Hey, May. Okay, so maybe I can play some. I'm assuming worst case scenario. They'll just tell me to take it down and I'll just have to take down this live. But the main thing is this is actually, it looks like it's a black owned podcast called Tonight's Conversation. And a couple of people actually did say when I posted it on my community wall that they've actually listened to this podcast. And it it consists of, I think, like 3 men and 2 women who are constantly on there. And they're having discussions about a little bit of everything. Okay. And so the main topic that I was told to look at was the conversation around bigger women. Okay. And it was a conversation of, do men only date bigger women when pretty much they're like in financial need or financial stress? Okay. So it was like, if a man isn't financially confident, does he go for bigger women? Now, I'm going to play some of it, and it gets interesting, but I definitely have, of course, you guys know me, I'm analytical as hell. There's definitely an interesting perspective that I have in this situation, but I'm gonna play it and then we're gonna go from there. So hold on just 1 minute. And shout out to the podcast. By all means, I am not trying to disrespect you guys at all whatsoever, but I just feel like this is a good conversation to talk about. And I accept, as usual, all views. Okay. So, hey, Nene. Hey, Tamala. Okay. So, most people did not listen to it. Did anyone listen to the podcast? This particular podcast, this particular episode, a tough conversation about bigger women. Did anyone put a 1 in the chat if you did? I don't think. Well, it's a delay. I'll wait. Put a 1 in the chat. If no one hasn't, that's fine. We'll just play it. Okay, well, they're talking about bigger women. I know that I'm big. This is a self-reflection. Oh, tragically talking about something she wanted to half credit. Nah, girl, ain't no half credit, but that's all right though, because we're gonna play a little bit of it and then we'll talk about it. And I want you guys to listen in because I know my people in here can be just as analytical as me. It was definitely a lot of tension, and granted, from what I've seen, I started watching a podcast. They do talk about intense things, but there were a couple of things that I did not like about this particular episode, but we're going to get into that just one moment. So we have the regulars who are actually on this show, and then we have this girl. Her name is Six Goddess. Let me see. She's actually on YouTube. Her name is Six the Goddess, and she says on here that she's an influencer, a mentor, and an author. Okay, and so she's a beautiful woman. First of all, everyone on here is beautiful. All of the women on here are beautiful. All the men on here are beautiful. But Six the Goddess is the one who's really talking. So it's a conversation about bigger women and about things like pretty much about how men view bigger women and why I guess they would actually date bigger women. Savage, calm down. You already in savage mode. Give me a second because I have to tune it up to a certain point. So I'm not playing all of this extra stuff in the beginning. So let's go, y'all. And then we're going to talk about it. And let me know if you guys can hear it.
For those who didn't hear last time, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm an influencer of femininity for Black women. I am a author, and I am a mentor.
All right, so we're going to just go on right into this. Six, true or false? When a man isn't financially confident, he tends to go for bigger women.
True.
Explain.
Because you have to look at when I say go for, I mean, I would think the same way. Like if it's a woman who is saying, okay, who can I get something out of? She might choose the guy who might seem more lame, like women don't really approach him. I think people in our nature are predatory in a way. Like when we are looking to gain something, we tend to look for who would be most likely. So to me, if I'm a guy just got out of jail, got probation fees, I need somewhere to stay, I'm not going to go for a woman who works out 5 days a week and looks good. I'm going to go for the bigger girl. I'm going to say, there's more of a chance that she'll be willing to compromise because deep down inside, she feels like maybe she has to compensate for the lack of the aesthetics.
Respectfully, that's probably the most ignorant shit I've ever heard in my life, bro. So you think because a woman is plus size or out of shape that her mental and what she accepts in life and what she should be expected to accept in life is less than
because look what she accepted for herself. Look what she accepted for herself. For herself, she decided, I'm not going to maintain what I eat. I'm not going to exercise. If you look,
so just because you exercise, no, I'm not. Just because you eat right mean you're gonna be in shape. Just because you eat right now, what I'm saying
is you have got people don't invest more into you than you invest in yourself.
I know that's not what you said though.
That's my point of view.
That could be your point of view, but that's not what you said.
Okay. That is how it goes though. If I'm looking at who can I take advantage of, the person who is not investing into themselves, I can probably take advantage of them.
Let me ask this. Hold
on. Okay. So that's how the conversation starts. Now, if you guys heard that, which I'm assuming you heard it because no one said I can't hear anything, it was already tense from the get-go. Do you guys agree with that? Because when I was looking at it and listening to it, I was like, damn, like, why is this like really, really tense from the beginning? And so with that, first things first, this is supposed to be about the perspective of the man and how the man literally views bigger women or women in general, but especially bigger women. So, I mean, granted, I haven't looked at this podcast a lot. I saw some other shows or other episodes. What it appears is that this conversation is going to be led by the women and not the men. When in reality, the men should be leading this conversation because it's really about them and their viewpoint. Do you guys agree with that? Because right now, as you can already hear, the women are going in. The women are going in and the men are just sitting back. So if we're talking about their viewpoint, they should have actually spoke up, which tells me, especially with Six, the goddess, who is the one who is saying that is true, saying that because if she doesn't care about herself or whatever, and if he's just getting out of jail, whatever, he's going to use that bigger girl. That's what she's pretty much saying. And then the other girl who spoke, who's actually smaller than all the women, like none of the women on here are, in my opinion, considered plus size. They're thicker women, or the girl who came back and was like, that's the most ignorant shit I've heard. She's a smaller girl. She's smaller. So, but she came in firing, and granted, based on what I've seen from the podcast, she's a no-nonsense woman from the beginning. Like, she's a no-nonsense woman. But to me, she came super hard on the guest because it feels like there was some type of tension from the beginning. We don't know necessarily what happened when those cameras weren't rolling, but she came blazing. Okay, so that's immediately what I gathered from it. I was like, whoa, like this is intense. Yes, Yuli, the one with the afro, that's Six the Goddess. That's the one, and I'm assuming because Yuli, you actually listened to this podcast. But she came in pretty much giving her opinion, and the other girl was like, you're ignorant of shit immediately off the bat. So we're gonna continue. And then again, I don't know how I'm going to do this panel today because it seems like you guys have a lot to say. So I may bring up a couple people at a time on a panel. So then that way we all can, get our viewpoints across. But yeah, it was tense. It was tense. So let me continue.
SD, do you see any validity in that point? I do. Because, and it's not that they deserve to be treated that way. It's that people look for vulnerability, right? And I've heard a lot of women say that they like ugly guys because they'll treat you better, right? It's no different than somebody going after a bigger woman because they feel like they'll treat them better, and it's all the same.
That's not the conversation. That's not the conversation that's happening right
here. I
here.
understand that. I was giving an analogy to it. That's
conversation is exactly what she said. I do see validity to that, but not for the bigger girl. She said, I think everybody's predators, but no, there are people that are literal predators that when they look around, they try to find what they can get out of everybody, right? So when I look at a man, I don't think like, what can I get from you? I more so think, how are we interacting? Do we get along? How do we communicate? But there are some people that are like, what can I get out of that predator? A man, she said a broke man, right? Or somebody getting out of jail, don't have no money. He's on his prowl. He's a predator. He's looking for the most insecure woman.
Yes,
I think the problem comes in when we automatically assume that because a bigger woman is big, she's insecure. Because I've met so many in shape, gorgeous model women talk about how they were so insecure that it didn't matter that everybody said that they were gorgeous because it's outside. Aesthetics are just that, they're outside. You could be shit inside. You could be the most insecure, depressed, self-loathing, miserable bitch, but you do a couple squats in between that,
and now you deserve the best shit in the world.
Come on. So it's insecure.
The question was on the men's perspective.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that majority of men will say
you know, when they struggling on that date, the big girl is going to be the one that's going to step up more financially. That's just what majority of men will say. I've never seen a man I've never seen a man work his butt, especially a black man. As a black man, you're overcoming all odds, work your ass off, you become successful, you get the bag, you go out, you see a woman 350 pounds and be like, yup, that's my wife. I've never seen it.
I have.
When well, you got to show me, because baby, I ain't never seen it in my life.
Let's do this. Because you know what? Because I get... Let's do this. For this conversation, let's just...
Okay. So here's the thing. That was the girl who was saying that you shouldn't automatically assume that a bigger woman is insecure because she has seen plenty of gorgeous, perfect figure model types who are insecure as hell and shitty on the inside. And so that was Keita. And I agree with that because especially growing up out here in California, I've know and have been friends or have grown up with girls who were drop dead gorgeous. And maybe because of that currency of their outer appearance, they were able to maybe get more dates or have more guys take them out, whatever the case may be. But that didn't necessarily mean the man treated them better. You see what I mean? And it also meant that that didn't mean they had the best personalities or what was going on the inside. And then, of course, the person who came after her, which is Six the Goddess, she says, we're talking about the man's perspective. Well, here's the problem, though, Six. You're not a man. And this is why I said it was literally, this conversation was led by an intense conversation between the women, all black women. And really, while some of the men were saying certain things, it was really the women who were speaking up. And so this is why I said, well, wait a minute, what is this conversation about? Now, granted, it did make for good, I guess, entertainment that they were going back and forth. But these men, for the most part, were sitting back and allowing them to go at it, except the host, and you're about to hear him talk now. He's going to give his perspective on it. But, you know, it was really intense between the women. And while that one guy, you heard him say, you know, he agrees with that, it was still interrupted by the women. So it was interesting. Like I said, it was tense from the beginning, which makes me wonder, was there a conversation or did something happen prior to the cameras coming on that made them act that way? But with that, Six says that she has never seen a man, especially a black man, who busts his ass, is very successful, and sees a woman that's 350 pounds and says, that's going to be my wife. Okay. Now, here's the thing about this. I looked on Six's page. I don't know what her relationship status is, but she didn't have a ring on her finger. My guess is that maybe she is in a relationship. Maybe she's not married. I don't know. But I just feel like we're at a point where, and she said she's a mentor and stuff. I don't know if she's giving dating advice or I don't know. But what I do know is this. If you're not doing anything for yourself, if you want to lose weight, that's fine. But to lose weight and to do all of this stuff simply thinking that it's going to give you better options as far as a man is concerned, that's the wrong perspective to have, in my opinion. Because at the end of the day, I have seen so many women who have kept their shape. They have long flowing hair, everything that all the stereotypes of what a man wants, the true IG model, and they're either in hell in their relationship or they're not in a relationship. So, yeah. So with that being said, that's pretty much like, and this again, you guys, we are only in 6 damn minutes of this thing. Okay. 6 minutes and it's already this tense. All right. So let me continue to play it.
Do tend most likely, usually. Okay. So instead of just going to like, because we'll end up nitpicking a lot if we just keep. Oh yeah, we've seen it happen. It's always an exception, but
Yes,
on a regular. So to answer your question,
regularly, I have a cousin that only fucks big bitches. And he has
There's a lot of men that love big women. This is an insecurity. This is an insight. I do understand the basis, though. What you're saying is, if you don't take care of yourself, then you show the world that it doesn't matter, right? And so that might leave you to be more vulnerable. You may not have as many options. So the options that come might be this broke man, whatever. But what I'm saying is, it's the insecurity. You are insecure.
And
outside doesn't really determine inside all the time.
Let's not pretend like just because you would be insecure at that size means they're insecure at that size. I know plenty of women that are bigger that eat right, work out, do right by themselves, and they're still bigger. Just because you work out does not mean you're going to be shaped like you. Thank God you're shaped like
But nobody has to be skinny. Like for me personally, I promote a healthy weight. My whole point is this, especially as Black women, we tend to, have more going on here. So I don't want no one to think that it's, you have to be skinny. I think the problem is we as Black women don't accept that if the men are the ones saying, typically, we're not going to be successful and then go out and get a bigger woman. We have to respect that.
I don't even heard a man say it. I'm hearing a Black woman say it.
I mean, I see them say it all the time, and I see it in real life. Like
we surround ourselves around.
Can you just hold that thought? Because I just want to address what you said. So, because I know this is a tough conversation. I have, and I'm not even on that space.
But right? You're in a fitness position. You're somebody that goes to the gym. You're someone that bingo. You're someone that cares about what their appearance is. Not every person is like that.
I agree with you, but if you were to ask me, just me being trying to be as unbiased as I can, I will agree with what she said. As far as now, if you see a more successful man, typically with a bigger woman, either she was smaller before or he got successful later. But I will agree that from my experience, I've tended to see more men gravitate once they got successful to women that more physical. Because for men, and I don't know whether this is right or wrong, we don't have to debate it today. A woman's look is a form of currency for a lot of men.
That's true.
And so with that being said, I think now we're talking about over here from the woman's side, how she feels about herself internally. Now, I don't want to get stuck on when she was saying like, okay, well, he tends to go for her because she most likely is insecure. Even if that she herself isn't insecure, that man's mind frame is what I was asking.
She's insecure.
I was asking her from that standpoint.
Right.
So that I just wanted to clear that up.
Okay.
So we good on that?
Yeah, no, I understand.
Go ahead. And to you.
All right. So here's the thing. Again, I don't know why he went. I guess 6, because 6 is a guest. She's not one of the regulars. I think everybody else up there is a regular. But again, if we're talking about the man's perspective, we didn't need to hear from 6. We needed to hear from the men and what they think. And so far, and just letting you guys know, since I heard the whole entire thing, 2 of them said that they agree. And they said that at the end of the day, they do want a woman who, of course, if they're working hard and they're at a certain level as far as their money is concerned, their status is concerned, they want a woman on their arms that can represent that. Okay, that's what they were saying. And how, both of them, mind you, are smaller guys. So they were saying that to a certain extent, what 6 was saying was kind of valid. But at the same time, the other women, now mind you, the other women are not big girls. Keita is a thicker girl. I wouldn't consider her plus size at all. The other girl, and I'm sorry what her name is, she's smaller than all of them. But literally, that's it was hints. But we're going to continue to actually listen to it. I did drop the link because I figured the way that we can possibly do this today is while we're listening to it, we can actually chat and talk about it in the process, because I know a couple people were saying they already had something to say in regards to the situation. But I feel like it's a great conversation to have. Like, do you feel, and again, you could say yay or nay on this, do you feel that successful men will not date bigger women? And what I mean by that is not a woman that's been around since the beginning. Like, because that's what this guy just said. Like, maybe he was with her when she was smaller. And then, of course, as she's gotten older, maybe have had kids or whatever the case may be, she's become bigger. But as far as successful men are concerned, they're trying to imply that they would not date a bigger girl. So definitely, I dropped the link. Hey, Nivea, how are you and the babies? I was wondering about you because I was like, let us know. But I see you're okay. The babies are well. You guys, our girl Nivea, she just had babies not too long ago. She was actually in the live child while she was in labor. She had twins actually. So let us know how everyone's doing. I was definitely praying for you. Okay, so Unique said that what the guy said is accurate. Okay. Lies, I don't believe so. Okay, so you guys definitely have difference of opinions. I would love for you guys to come up so then that way we can have a conversation about this while we listen in because yeah, I mean again, some people do feel that way. Some people feel, but again, yes, they're doing great both for 3.5 pounds. Okay, but they're great. Okay. They're in ICU, but being great. Okay, definitely. I will definitely continue to send up prayers. All identical twin girls. Oh, that's a blessing, Nivea. Congratulations again. It's true. So many men, many at certain levels. That doesn't mean others are doing themselves as far as what is beautiful. That is European standards. You got a point there. You have a point there. And especially in minority communities, a lot of men do prefer thicker women. But again, we have these guys who are saying, no, they want that currency. They want that woman to look a certain way on their arms because of, their status in life. And they want her to kind of represent that status that they have. So in other words, if they don't have status and they're at the lower part of they're at the bottom of the barrel, so to speak, that's what they'll date. But the more successful they are, the more they want a certain amount, a certain type of look on their arms. Granted, so far, no one has said anything about what they want internally from the woman. Now, catch that. No one yet has said anything about what they want internally from her. This is all strictly physical appearance only. I feel it's preferred. Okay. I totally agree. It's the image that society has put out there. So sad. Being from South Florida, they love all sides of thickums. Is where's that? So you're from South Florida, Gigi? I thought so, especially like Miami. Isn't that kind of like a superficial place like California is? Yes, congratulations, beautiful. Congratulations. Just because she's plus size doesn't mean unattractive. That is true. Is it just MAM Enterprises? Are you new? I don't think I've seen you before. Hey, beautiful, welcome. Everyone hit the like button. No emotional intelligence. Yes. Physically. Yes. Love. Okay. So yeah, you from now. Here's the thing though. I think Miami gets a different illusion. Like my friends who are like from Miami versus like South Beach, everyone just thinks of South Beach. But South Beach, they come off like they want those perfect bodies. Hey, Bobby. Hey. I also feel like the same men are having the affairs. Ooh, yes. Hi. Okay, so you are new. Welcome. Okay, so we're gonna continue on this. Nobody pressing that link yet. I guess y'all want me to just continue to play it so you guys can hear it because no one's hitting that link yet, though. Okay, and then whatever you say, let me post this one. Physical appearance is what matters to all men first. I think we as women need to be honest about that. I've been thin and heavy, and the dating pool changes dramatically when you're healthy. Okay. So this is what I'm saying. I definitely want difference of opinions. Now, like I said, I have been someone who's been close to 300 pounds. My smallest, I think I was like around 169. Did it change? Yeah, it changed. I must say the dating pool did change. I don't think it changed drastically for me though. But again, being out here in superficial California, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not just about the size, it's also about a certain look as well. So, but yeah, there's Florida and then there's Miami. I'm from Orlando, Florida girl. Okay. You absolutely attract better men when you're your best self. But that's also internally too. Would you agree? Whatever you say? Because outside appearance, I mean, we have beautiful women who still attract shitty ass men because of what's going on internally. You know what I mean? Yes, Miami women have plastic surgery. Even the girls from the hood had BBLs in life. But wow, I'm nervous. What you nervous about? Tragically? Okay, Yuli, like I'm ready to come up. I'm ready to come up. Okay. It's the way you carry yourself. Now, my girl T, which by the way, let me actually shout out again Detroit, Michigan, Ohio, Illinois, New York. From my understanding, you guys are still dealing with the fires in Canada. I'm praying for you guys. I did not know that was still going on. So prayers. But T, if I'm not mistaken, you from the D. Now, I do know my friends from the D, they say, out there, like, to be thick is to be great. So, like, I mean, you have a variety, but for the most part, they have no problem with plus size women out there. So I also think it depends on where you live too. That can make the difference. But yeah, let's continue. And we're going to continue to listen into this.
Point, for me and my guys, like my tight circle, being like top 5% earners just in our career, we don't as a collective go out and seek bigger women. For me personally, just thinking about it, putting myself in a position that I put myself in and the work that I did to get to where I'm at, I want a woman that put the same work into herself physically to match what I did with my career and my status.
Okay, let me pause that. He said he wants a woman to put in the same work physically. So what he did for his career and his status, he wants her to put that same effort into her looks. Interesting. But I'm glad he's being honest, but interesting. So in other words, not the type of, she hasn't forget her status as far as her career and the energy that she's put into her career to get where she is as far as, money, status, clout is concerned. He wants her to put that energy into her looks. Okay. While he puts it into the status, the money, the position. And again, the looks, we have not heard anything about where she is mentally, if she would be a great mother, if she would be a great nurturer, none of that. This is strictly what he's saying, okay? So let's continue.
Because like he said, like it's a currency for women. They looks, just like our currency is our status or finances on the surface level, right? For men. And it gets us a certain type of woman. The more money we make or the certain status that we get, just like the looks.
And those are sometimes surface level women.
That's what I'm saying. But it gets them a different level.
Such a misogynistic society that we live in, bro. Like the fact that we even have to have a conversation of, oh yeah, no, big bitch is not getting love. No, when I get the money, I don't want a big bitch. Like the fact that we even had this conversation, bro. Like, but then in the same breath, we'll have the conversation about when women get money and have certain energies and attitudes. Oh, and then they're wrong. When women get a bag and say, oh, I got a bag, and dudes be jealous of my bag, or dudes are insecure about A, B, C, and D, then it's wrong. This is just a very awkward and weird.
I don't think anything is wrong, though. I think everybody does have personally.
Can I rebuttal that, sir? The argument would be, I think it is not that you're wrong for saying, okay, when women get money, they do this, X, Y, Z, or what your preferences are. The argument is, well, a man, we can't express ours. So it's not that I care that you're expressing yours, but it's you're expressing yours, but you're not allowing me to express mine.
And I can see
whenever there's an expression of a man's preference, is met with this slighted argument to now go to, but that's not fair, that's not right, but it's not the same way, because we can sit here and talk about if the conversation was true or false, broke men, women, broke men this, broke men that, it would be a different approach.
But when we have those same conversations from the woman's perspective, it's shamed and it's shut down. As soon as a woman says something like, "Oh, I don't want a short man. Oh, y'all short shaming. That sounds like body shaming. That sounds like body shaming." That happens all the time. That happens here all the time. We bring up if we say we talk about
everyone outside of a preference is going to feel some type of way once you've expressed your preference. Everybody is allowed a preference. My issue isn't with that preference, and I do understand what you're saying. I agree. What I'm saying is when we use it as a target, right? Like when we don't target the real reason, like that you assume that, you know what I'm saying, somebody would be for that person, then sometimes people think when they see that, all big bitches, all fat bitches, and so that's why we say we add a premise to, it's really insecure women. But if you're talking about surface level, aesthetically, yes, men are going to go for.
Realistically, we all have preferences. That's what takes us to our being physically attracted to somebody. We all have preferences and want something. I just think to think that something is beneath us because that's not what we are, what we're attracted to. And that's how the energy came across when it was said. That's bothersome me. That don't sit right on my spirit.
I can understand that. Now, I'm going to be the person because I got to. This is my previous life. The reason why I can kind of see where she's coming from is because these are behaviors that I exhibited when I was doing my whole shit, when I was womanizing, when I was sleeping with a lot of women. Sometimes I didn't want to work as hard for sex. Sometimes I didn't want to have to be available at a relationship level in order to get this, that, and that, and it was wrong. And so what you learn to do is pick up on cues from women that may not have the highest self-esteem. And it's going to sound fucked up, but sometimes as humans, we make shortcuts and we make assumptions. And it's not right, but it helps us navigate the world. And from my personal experience, yes, someone that I would feel like doesn't get talked to as often would be happier to get my attention. And then as a reward for that attention, maybe give me what I wanted, which was the sex. Now, if I go to 6 and try to run this same game, it might take a way more effort because she has a lot of suitors going after her. Whereas this woman over here, visually, I can tell that maybe she doesn't. And it's not right. It's wrong. I don't even know if I don't even want to make it right or wrong. I personally don't feel right about what I did now, but I know that's how people do. Just like for women, when you want a man that's driven, ambitious, whatever, yes, to learn that, you got to get to know him over an extended period of time. But a shortcut is, well, if he got a house, a car, his money.
No matter how he acquired it.
But no, I mean, you know what I'm saying? You can kind of shortcut and say, okay, now I got these characteristics he might have more likely to have, and I'll validate that.
Right.
So what I'm saying is there some truth to the way, and this, let's not make it just about women. The way we take care of our bodies can be a reflection.
It is a reflection
on how we feel about ourselves on the inside.
Absolutely. Yeah. I just don't want us to equate being small or being, fit to this degree to what, taking care of our bodies look like. We come from a community that is vastly obese. So expecting someone to go from that to this or that is near to impossible. But also, tell somebody to go for a walk or being healthier and things like that. That's my only point. That's the thing that disrupted me and what I didn't.
But also we look at bigger women and we say, oh, you're unhealthy. And we will skip the people in shape smoking crack. Because they look good.
Or skinny.
Or whatever. Fuck the alcoholics. They have what I'm saying? That could be a reflection of you not taking care of yourself. In fact, you taking steroids because you have to look this way and you doing this could be a reflection of you not taking care of yourself. So let's start getting to know individuals, and we can't do that all the time, and we always have these generalizations.
Okay. So here's the thing. What that guy said was, how you look on the outside can reflect how you feel about yourself on the inside. I don't agree with that to a certain extent. Now, of course, when we're looking at my 600-pound life and people who are like morbidly obese, or even people who, as far as their hygiene, you can have skinny people who don't take care of themselves as far as proper hygiene and stuff is concerned. I don't like, of course, 600-pound life. We've seen a lot of those people. They all have had some type of trauma internally that has gone on with them. But to say that it possibly reflects how you feel about yourself on the inside, if you're bigger, and we're talking about like a plus size, I guess what we consider a regular plus size, like 250, 300 or something. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about that. Because again, I know girls and guys who have considered the perfect bodies. I've been trained by them, and some of them can't keep a damn relationship worth anything. You know what I mean? Or they literally are some of the most evil ass, vindictive ass people out there. So what's going on the outside does not always match what's going on the inside. So I'm going to have to disagree with that. So yeah, that's a hard one for me to accept. Now, what do you guys think? Do you think that's the case? Put a 1 in the chat if you feel like how you look on the outside reflects what's going on the inside, or could reflect what's going on the inside. If you feel you agree with that, or 2 if you don't agree with that. Hey, Miss Manda, what's up, my Cali sis? Yeah, so you guys let me know. Do you guys agree with that? And again, safe space, because I want a little bit of everyone to come up today and talk about it. So how you feel on the outside can reflect what's going on the inside. If you agree with that, 1. If you don't agree with that, 2. Okay, so 1. I see some 1s. I see some 2. Whoa. Hold on, whatever you say. Who are you talking about? Who? I haven't even, because again, I can't even focus. I need to see if I can already give someone like a wrench or something so they can like look at my chat. There's somebody in here being disruptive already. Don't leave. I want to hear what you got to say. Don't leave. Okay, Unique, you said you were very depressed at your highest weight. Latrice too. Okay, so it's balanced. It's balanced. I see some 1s, I see some 2s. You guys, I don't know what's going on, but y'all know how I feel about that. I want everybody to feel comfortable. So please, let's try to keep everyone comfortable. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to continue on with this. But yeah, him saying that, and again, it's almost coming off as if he's claiming that's how he thought in the past, but really, it almost sounds like that's how he still thinks. Am I wrong to think that? Because it almost comes off like he still has that same mindset. He may not be as harsh with it, and it may not be as far as just directly focused on sex and sex alone. But at the same time, it almost comes off like he still has that mindset. But maybe it's just me, but it almost sounds like, yeah, it's still the same. He is a red flag. That's what I'm saying. Like, but again, I appreciate their honesty. Because at the end of the day, we can all agree to disagree. I can appreciate their honesty, but yeah, they were definitely talking. Yes, I was 285 at my highest, lost 85 pounds naturally last summer. My goal is to lose 45, 50 more. Congratulations, Unique. Yeah, I was close to 300. I wouldn't say that I was depressed though. What made me change, and I know I had to change, was health. I was like, I'm too young. And, the diabetes and stuff like that was, my doctor was like, you got to get this together. And because of the fact that, of course, being Black, that type of stuff runs in my family, I didn't want to deal with that. But to actually say I was depressed, no, I was good. I mean, when I really think about it, I was good. It was just that for health reasons, I said I need to get it together. But again, that was me. I actually think I might be. Oh, Adrian, no. Well, we'll definitely talk, boo. I mean, if you're willing to come up here, I know I've gained weight since COVID happened. I've gained weight. Like that's definitely one thing. Like there's something about routine that keeps me on track versus now where COVID, well, I'm not monetized. Why do I give a shit? The big C got me off track because a lot of the stuff that I do now, I work from home and things like that. So it's just, to me, I had more discipline when I had a schedule. But yeah. Let's see, twin. But congratulations, Unique. That's amazing, baby girl. That's amazing. Okay, so should we continue or do y'all want to start having panel discussions? Y'all let me know, because this is free flowing here. As long as everyone is respectful, I have no problem starting the panel now. So put in a 1 in the chat if y'all want to start having a panel discussion on this, and then we'll listen in between, or put a 2 in the chat by just saying, no, Chris, keep going. Let's hear all of it. So let me know, and I'll just do whatever the majority vote is. So 1 in the chat if y'all want to get a panel discussion going. 2 in the chat if you just want to continue hearing it with my perspective, and then I guess we'll do a panel later. Okay, so I already got 2 2s. A 1, 2 2s. Okay, I see more 2s. So y'all saying, Chris, shut up, play this damn thing, and let's continue. We'll talk about it later. Really, Yuli, I don't know what a 12 is. That's that Libra. We indecisive as hell. So you gonna put both numbers? That's what it is? But no, let me continue, okay?
That's why I try to be as fair as I can to say there is validity to what she's saying. Absolutely. However, to a man searching for anybody, they're gonna go for the insecure whatever. It might be it might be a woman that you feel has a disability. She might be insecure. It might be older women. They feel like older women are insecure. They just need anything. You're unmarried. You don't have nobody. It's a lot of different things. So we need to look at things individually rather than making generalizations.
And I think that to your point, you say, I don't want to say that it's wrong, but I think it's wrong because it's something that you're purposely doing and going after that person, kind of like to manipulate them in a way. Yeah. Because you're like, well, if I see this chick, I know she don't get that many men, then maybe I'll get what I want, which is sex. Yep. Well, in turn, it's not like you want to have sex with her and think of making her your woman. Yep. It's like,
and then what type of bump?
I just want to feed her to the mattress and send on her way.
I just want anybody that I can.
That's how it goes when you target the bigger woman that you normally wouldn't. So in that instance, when men do it that way, I think that's wrong.
It's predatory.
The reason I didn't, because the initial thing I thought of, because remember I said it was wrong at first, and then I said I didn't want, the reason why, because I left room for a person being self-aware. If I know, like what we said, ain't financially ready or ain't on your shit, if I know myself, I'm broke, I ain't got shit going on for myself, I'm self-aware enough to know that I can't come talk to you.
Y'all ain't never met a Detroit nigga, because these Detroit niggas will try to fuck up anybody.
I really do feel like a lot of men fit in where they get in. Yeah. Because the market will tell you.
These niggas will fake it till they make it.
The market will tell you that if you go try to talk to these girls, they're going to laugh in your face. So you better find some people that's really in what you deserve. Like y'all kept saying deserve, right? In one of the clips you said, maybe you can speak to it. Sometimes what you deserve are the people that's responding to your advances. Like we be thinking that, oh no, I want this high value woman, or I want this good looking woman. But if good looking woman ain't responding to you, then maybe you don't deserve that type of person. What do you think about that?
Okay.
It was a question.
No, I mean, it was a question, but I'm saying that, you're internalizing how you feel about yourself. And this is the reason why we got people who get upset when they see somebody big that's really confident, or that's what she meant by, this is how you want them to respond because of what you feel inside. And that's, sometimes we have the disconnect when you meet somebody that doesn't, that says, fuck no.
So to go back on what I'm saying, that's why I said self-awareness.
Yeah.
If I can still be confident, but also self-aware enough to know that, yo, my league ain't that. My league is here. I am content with playing in my league with the women that I can attract, that want to give me attention. You can keep trying.
That right there, Ace, that's the more logical aspect of the way men think. Women, we don't think that way. We don't think that. Men think that way.
Why do you think it's bad that men think that way?
No, I think men have to think that way.
Why is that?
Because you're the protector. We need you to lay your life down for us. We don't got time for men to be like, you ain't that cute. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to protect you. We need men to just do their job. I think that's why men are more wired on a logical aspect where, okay, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm going to do. You know?
Respectfully, I feel like a man who just got out of jail, who don't got no money and is looking for the most insecure woman, I don't want that man to protect me. Oh, God, I don't want that type of man to protect me at all. That's a predator. And it's just like you wouldn't want the woman that's always looking for what you're worth financially. She does not care about you. She doesn't care.
Now, she made a valid point. First of all, I don't want no man like that protecting me. But also, predatory behavior goes both ways. Okay. Now, granted, you guys, of course, I have to keep stopping this because I can't play it through. But predatory behavior goes both ways. It almost comes off as if they're not understanding that predatory behavior can also be on the woman being a predator, trying to find a man strictly to use him for financial gain. So it's both. You have your mentality where physically you want all of this in a woman, and then that woman may have a mentality where she financially wants everything from this man and use him up, spit him out, or whatever the case may be. It goes both ways. You know what I mean? So it's both. Both can have predatory behavior. You love her. You talking about Keita, Yuli? Yeah, Keita's dope. I honestly, I liked both of the women. One girl, is her name Rita or something like that? She's from, I guess she's from Detroit. She's from the D, because that's what she just said. She said, y'all don't know no Detroit ninjas. But she's from Detroit. But yeah, both of them are pretty much. Now, I don't know what's going on, and my feelings, damn it, are getting hurt because tragically, and sis earlier, I hope they didn't leave. I don't know what happened in the chat. I really don't know what happened in the chat. I hope you guys come back. Whatever you say, please come back, because we should be able to have a healthy discussion and be able to agree to disagree and move forward. You guys, we have to stop this. We got to stop. We got to be able to talk. So please come back. If you see that it gets too crazy, if I have to, I will, address it. But you guys come back and let's really have a healthy dialogue about this, because this is something we definitely need to talk about for sure. Rita, yes, her name is Rita. Okay, yes, and you guys hit that like button. Hit that like button. Yeah, the girl with the afro, her energy was different. It was different. But we're gonna continue. Okay, we're gonna continue. But you guys, please come back. Let's have a discussion, a healthy discussion.
About if you ate or how you feel. She wants to know what she's going to get out of it, because to me, that's a broke ass woman.
Okay.
Who can't get it together on her own and needs to become a predator. You find the man that you feel is lame, or the fat man, because it happens too, or the balding man, or whatever man you feel like is unattractive that can't get women, and you say, he'll give me a lot of money.
Let's take, because I know we introduced it as predatory. What I'm saying is, let's take that out of it.
Okay.
I'm saying, I know I'm 5'5", I'm skinny, I don't got a lot going for myself, but I do want love. I do want a relationship. Mm-hmm. I know with my attributes and what I don't have working for myself, that maybe these are the only type of women that will give me attention.
And I agree with that mindset. What I'm saying is, you said you didn't have anything going for you. Again, that's internally. You put yourself in that box. You put yourself in that league. Like, it's all mindset.
No, the people that rejected me along the way.
With the 4 people rejected, did you meet the world? Did you talk to people?
No, niggas DM. Niggas be going. Niggas shoot their shot. And you'll start nestling into...
I get it.
You're right. Everybody got a lane. So not to belabor the point, that's why I was struggling with calling the whole thing wrong, because yes, if you're coming from predatory, but if you know for a fact, that's not true. Because I'm telling you, there are people right now, both men and women, that are self-aware enough to know that at this current moment, this is the best they can do. But if their circumstances change, they gonna upgrade.
And the women know that. They know that. They be knowing that. That's why when he does upgrade, they get so mad. They're not mad at him. They're mad at themselves. They're mad at deep down their intuition told them that, and they went against it. But they know deep down inside. Something that my mother and my grandmother did for me that I'm very grateful of, and what I see is a big problem present day, because I'm big on preventative measure. To me, I feel like if you've been big your whole life, you probably will stay big. It's like she said, it's almost impossible for you to change that. So I'm big on preventative measures. So I think there has to be a shift, mainly in women, because we are the healers, we cook, we control the culture of the people. It's time for us as women, especially as Black women, to stop this whole thing of thick and she got to eat and she healthy. Growing up, and this is a gem, my mother never was that mom who was like, you can't leave the table to eat all your food. My mom would say, when you are content, when you feel happy, when you feel like you've ate enough, you're good. To this day, if I get a plate of food, I don't feel the need to clear the plate. The main thing I see in Black women is overeating. There is a difference between you being big and making YouTube videos like what I eat in a day to stay big. And there's a difference between being that and saying I'm big and I know I need to lose weight for myself, for my children, for us, for our representation as Black women. I'm with that. Now, big women who be like, I'm big, oh well, so what? I still got a man. I don't like that. We need to, no other race of women do that. Look what happened with Adele. Adele started getting up there. Them white folks were like, oh, hell no, girl, you need to lose weight. We don't need no big white women representing us. And she
all
did.
races of women attacked her for losing weight.
Of course.
All races of women.
Because again, we said it's so
we're
difficult.
so focused on aesthetics.
No, because it's difficult.
So when we go into an emotional and a mental standpoint.
It's because it's difficult.
It is
women we're not competitive in that way.
It's just like any other addiction. If you are
food addiction is different.
Food addiction is addiction to
you don't got to take drugs to live. Food you have to eat to live.
Right.
Food addiction is
Okay, so let me pause this really quick. Here's the thing. First of all, obesity is a big issue in general. Let's not act like we don't have men out here who are also overweight. So I just don't understand why. I guess she could try to say in her mind she only cares about women because she cares about, her women, whatever the case may be, fine. But notice she just has all of this energy towards women and women needing to lose weight as if men are not out here overweight as well. So is it acceptable that a man is overweight as long as he has money and everything you want as far as him being a provider and protector? Is it okay for him to be big, but a woman can't be big? She never really cleared that up. But I'm kind of side-eyeing that situation because if you're really focused on health, then that means everyone, men and women, need to actually lose weight. So that's where she kind of threw me off as far as that is concerned. And she keeps saying women. She's not mentioning men. She's not mentioning men who have an eating problem. They have eating problems too. So this is where I was getting to the point where I was like, okay, 6, you're kind of throwing me off here because it just seems like you only care about how the women look, not the men. As long as the men have the money, I guess they can be 500 pounds, but a woman can't be. So that's where she kind of threw me off. But let me continue.
It's a different monster.
Addiction, everybody has different vices.
And food addiction is the hardest addiction. That's why people get so emotional behind the subject of food and weight.
Absolutely. And I'm not here to say, and this is a gym, I'm not here to say that Black women should not take care of themselves. Absolutely take care of yourself. But first, take care of mental and inside as well. Because when you do that and you work on your mental, that gives you the motivation to want to work on your physical.
But how do you work on your mental when every time someone brings something up, you just get upset and say that's ignorant?
That's a good.
So how do you work on it then? We talk about weight and
how you work on that. I'm going to answer your question. How you work on that is by saying, okay, I get triggered when she says that. What about that triggers me? Okay, well, they're talking about bigger women. I know that I'm big. This is a self-reflection. So this is not who you have a conversation with everybody. You don't get on the internet and talk to people that are geared to tearing you down. This is self-reflection. So you're talking to yourself and you say, this triggers me because I'm big. I'm big because I have a food addiction. I have a food addiction because I found comfort in food when I was getting assaulted. I found comfort in food when I felt like the world didn't think my face was pretty. I got comfort in food for whatever reason, because my dad left or my mom was abusive. Whatever reason you might have had that addiction, am I going to look at it and say, I'm going to let this rule my life? Am I going to be a victim, or am I going to be victorious? And you work through that internally. What kills me is that people don't want to care about inside. It's all about outside because it's easy. Look at your outside. Oh yeah, she takes care of herself. Oh, he must have a job. Oh, he must do this. You don't know shit. Get to know that person. Talk to that person.
But saying
Like,
that
you
weight is a
understand?
problem and then taking it into people having their own demons they're battling is two separate. We're talking about weight.
You said,
and I just,
but
we didn't talk about it. We didn't premise
go
this
hand in
conversation
that way.
We didn't
It doesn't
premise
go
this
hand in hand.
conversation
We're
over.
talking about weight
You big people
specifically.
care.
Let me tell you where-
Majority of big
Conversation
women
over.
are not saying
me
that.
tell you
You're
where
not
you
talking
disconnected
about
at.
food
You
addiction
said-
and all that.
Let him get her point. I got you. Okay.
That's my whole thing is majority of big women are not sitting around saying, I have a food addiction because I was assaulted when I was a kid. They're not doing that. They're saying,
There's
I'm
many
big,
other
and
ways.
any time that you speak on it, it's offensive. Saying that, somebody's weight is one problem, but then going into, well, we all have our internal battles. Of course we are. We all will have an internal battle at all times. Everyone will have trauma they're healing from. We are talking about weight. I want us to just stay on subject.
No, I am
And we're
staying
still-
on. Hold on. I am staying on subject. Let me tell you why I went there.
Well, you're not,
I went
because
there
you're
because you
talking about
targeted
skinny
a group
people and
of
you're talking
people.
about internal issues.
Because if a man
You're
is
talking
broke
about
and is
weight.
looking for somebody to take from, then he is looking for the most vulnerable. And the
All
most
humans
vulnerable
do that,
is
though.
all humans. No, not all humans. You
Yes,
think
it
that
is.
because that's the way
This,
you think.
no. This is
Hold on, I
why.
don't need that because
This
I'm
is
gonna
why
finish my thought.
system,
I'm gonna finish
justice
my
systems,
thought.
and consequences
I got
have
you
to
next,
be a
okay.
thing.
Absolutely.
Humans have to
So
have that.
why I
It's
say
order.
absolutely. I said I understood your point. The other perspective is you stated that this man will go to this type of woman. Absolutely. However, that's an insecure woman. You targeted a group of people. Insecure women come in different sizes. Insecure women come in all
That's not
different
the point.
shapes. It is the point. It's the point that I'm bringing to the table.
That wasn't the point at
That's
all.
but that's
Okay, so-
I bring let me so
Okay. It sounds like to me, Six Goddess, or the girl with the afro, and she's the one in the picture that I posted on my community wall. I think she looks at every situation like currency and what you can get out of a situation. What she had just said, it almost implied that everyone does it. In other words, everyone is after something in any type of situation. That's the way it came off to me. She's almost coming off as in when you meet a man or a man meets a woman, or hell, if you meet anyone, everyone has an agenda of what they're trying to get. That's the way it came off to me. Y'all let me know in the chat if that's what you got from her also, because what she just said, it comes off that way. And if you have that mentality, then yes, you're not going to hear anyone else's perspective, because it sounds like you're saying there's no relationship that's just from a genuine standpoint. Like, it's always about trying to get something from someone. So of course, if you have that mentality, you're going to always assume that you're right about the situation. Yeah, and that's another thing too, Gigi. That's another thing too. It almost seems like because she feels like she's the loudest one, and at times she's not the loudest one, but you can tell she's stubborn and set in her ways. She's not trying to listen. She's just not trying to listen, and she's not trying to hear another perspective at all whatsoever, which at that point is just kind of like, then why are you there? Because again, if you just are shut off and you don't want to hear another perspective, then why have dialogue with someone? What's the point? Like, what is the point? But let me continue.
disconnect I just had with the conversation was when she said that sometimes people are bigger because they have food addictions, and people go through things like that because of traumatic experiences or because of how they was raised or just eating habits. Right. Immediately you said food addictions are different. Food addictions are different. Before even digesting the fact that we were talking about, we changed it from just being big to talking about an addiction. An addiction is an addiction. It doesn't matter if you're addicted to drugs. It doesn't matter if you're addicted to food. It doesn't matter if you're addicted to sex,
but
whatever.
Food addiction is different. different because you have to eat. You can say, I don't want to do cocaine no more and stop doing cocaine. You can't stop eating
get
forever.
Out of an environment.
No, you can't stop eating forever. You have to still eat. So that's difficult to say. I gotta still
You just admitted that
but I
it's
have
even
to
more
do
difficult.
exactly.
Like you said, right?
That's why there's
So
so
then-
much emotion behind. That's my whole point. That's why
Absolutely.
it's unavoidable, and that's why there's so much emotion behind.
And when we're talking about emotion, you said, is it wrong to feel that way? Everybody's allowed to have their preferences, but what I'm saying is, this is the reason why the emotion comes behind is what my point was.
Let's transition the conversation forward, because I think this is just a good thing to talk about. Now, I will have to tell you my bias.
Okay.
I do work out every single day.
No.
No, like I literally do, and I struggle, and I'm gonna be honest, I struggle with a food addiction as well. I struggle with overeating, and honestly, it ties to what you were saying. When I was small, when I was younger, I was skinnier, and my mom and her boyfriends used to make me eat food. I couldn't leave the table until I ate the food, and they would call me skinny so much, and so I developed this habit of just eating, even recreational eating to like if I get in the mood or whatever.
Absolutely.
And so I think it's a very real subject to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So my bias is that I do overeat and I overwork out to compensate.
Okay.
And even with that, I balloon and I have weight issues. Even as a man that works out, body builds or whatever the case may be, man, if I'm 10 pounds over where I should be, I feel insecure about it. And to everybody else, I look good. So here's what I'm saying.
Catch that. He said he overeats. He said if he's 10 pounds overweight, he automatically feels insecure. He just said all of that. But is he getting all of the heat like women get? So my whole thing is a lot of us have, I don't even think it's a weight. People have food addictions and they're small too. We live in a society that we literally love food. Some people metabolisms are higher than others. I have friends who are smaller than me. They're like a size 2-4 and they eat more than me. I'm like, how in the hell do you manage to eat all of that food? And they have a higher metabolism. Meanwhile, I can have a damn cup of freaking yogurt and I get bloated. So it's safe to say that you can't just assume because someone is bigger, they have this addiction of food while someone who's smaller doesn't. He just admitted it. And if you guys look at the video, he is a smaller guy. You know what I mean? He definitely, you could tell he lifts weights, he works out, but he said he overeats. I think a lot of us overeat. A lot of us do. So, it's just that because one, maybe you see, I guess, some of that overeating on the outside versus the inside, it makes one person better than the other. I don't think so. You know what I mean? Like, and again, a lot of us maybe were never taught the best way to eat either. You know what I mean? Like, and again, it depends on your body type. I know for me, I lose weight the most when I have literally low carb, high protein, no sugars. That has always been the best option for me. Some people, they go the vegan route. They go the vegetarian route. I can't do the rice and the beans and stuff like that, which I absolutely love. That makes me bigger. So, I mean, again, but if you notice when he says this, Miss Six Goddess, she don't say nothing about that. I guarantee if one of those women said that though, and they were on a thicker side, if they said I have an overeating problem and I work out or whatever the case may be, she would have had an issue with that, but she didn't say anything to him. So interesting, right? Let me continue.
Outside of how this relates to dating, because we can arguably, men do have certain preferences when it comes to that. It's kind of hard to argue that. But when we talk about what we can do to help people that are going through things like this, how is it the relationship that we, especially Black people, have with food?
Absolutely. Obesity is absolutely the relationship with Black people have with food. I don't want to argue that, but I want to preference when we first started talking about this conversation. It's about men wanting to find a woman that they could take from. And you said, well, that's how men think. Did you not say that? That's how men think.
Well,
right. So
we've talked about that for 30 minutes.
Absolutely. And so that's why I wanted to add the woman's perspective and how it relates to women. Because unless we're talking only to men, you know what I'm saying? Like I definitely get the conversation, but it's good to have two sides.
But if y'all watched us a lot, so y'all know we get here.
They know.
If I were to be honest, now maybe if I watch it back.
Okay.
We started talking about the men, how men view it for maybe 3.6 seconds. It was quick. And then it almost, boy, I don't want to use the word hijack is a strong word, but it got taken.
Okay, so and the point is of the man's perspective then. So
but whose fault is that? You the moderator. This your show. You should allow the men to speak. It was supposed to be about the man's perspective, but you allowed it to be hijacked. You allowed them to talk. The first question went to 6, a woman, when in reality, the first question should have went to a man. That would have literally carried the conversation a different way. But the first thing you did was you asked the woman next to you about literally a question that should have been asked to a man. The question was, when a man isn't financially confident, does he go for a bigger woman, true or false? You should have said up there, and one of the men there, you should have said, what is your perspective on it? But you spoke to a woman. Clearly, they had their issues. Clearly, they already had their issues with this woman, and you allowed this to go into a shit show almost, because we really don't hear the men at all. And while he's talking, he's almost being a moderator. He's not really, he's giving his perspective to a certain extent, but that's your bad. Maybe the next time it needs to just be a conversation with just all the men, and they can have that conversation, because I would love to hear it from their perspective and their perspective alone.
Since it was hijacked, what is the point? To lose weight?
Well, the point, I'm glad you asked that. The point is that I do feel like the weight issue is something that we have to solve as Black women. I think that we have got to do better. I think that we're at that place where I see women all the time feeding their daughter 12 years old, and she's obese.
Absolutely.
And it's like, we can't keep. That's my whole goal here, to change the stigma. Is it's okay to be like, okay, my daughter is overweight. If I let her stay overweight, then more than likely she will remain that way. We speak about how we're not protected. We speak about our image, but so many of us are struggling with that weight problem. So I just want to see us do better for the younger girls.
I have a question when Trip is done.
This is a great opportunity for us to talk about food scarcity in Black communities.
Go ahead.
Far too often.
Okay, I'm gonna skip that part. We know about food scarcity. We know about that, but she almost is coming off as if women don't deserve protection if they're fat. That's the way it's coming off. What does that have to do with anything? Like, they're still women. Even if they're bigger women, they're still women. They deserve protection just like a smaller woman. She's really coming off that because of the outer appearance means you should get more protection, more things. Like, it's coming off really weird. And I think someone even said, I think it was Unique, saying she gives vibes that she would date a fat man for money but shame fat women. It is coming off that way. It is coming off that way.
Is big and she doesn't take care of herself, she might not have the financial means to. I didn't mean to just go to addiction or whatever, but I was giving you other examples because people just see a big person and think you don't give a shit about yourself. And that's a misconception.
I have a question for you, because the way you just said it before Trip responded in regards to caring about health and putting health first, and us being the cookers in our households and basically leaders in that aspect. Do you think that the message will be received better if you said it that way?
No. Because I think we've been talking nicely, like, girl, you thick and you healthy, you eat. We've been doing that for a long time. We haven't had a moment be like, bitch, you fat and you need to lose weight. And I have fat women every day come to me and be like, thank you. I needed someone to tell me I'm fat. I'm tired of my homegirls being like, some men like me,
girl. Women that you called like fluffies on your page. I think you called them fluffies. And those women, you took screenshots of the anger that you received as well. So Though your method is absolutely
anger. Everybody doing something positive gonna have good and bad.
Absolutely.
I don't do it for the 10 women that get mad. I do it for the 3 women who was like, I lost 100 pounds because of you. You're the first person that just told me the truth.
So Keita
That's
said.
how I move,
So Keita said
personally.
that you took the anger though and you made a post. Do you take the positive to make a post?
No, I made. Do I take the positives and make a post? Yeah.
Like all the women saying thank you. Because I want to see what you're calling them names.
It was
like
on
fluffies
YouTube.
and different. So it's the derogatory that comes behind these messages that people like. These salacious messages
But
that
see,
people like to
you're
do.
bringing emotion.
in
You're
order-
bringing so much
Of course
emotion into it.
I'm a woman. You just said
You're bringing
just
emotion.
said men think logically and women are emotional.
But emotion is not facts. That's the problem.
Absolutely.
You can bring your emotion into it, but it's not facts. And it's not facts.
all the time.
So
You're not bringing it right now.
I want to say this.
But she is bringing facts. I think you just don't like it because of the way she's
She just
presenting.
doesn't understand them, baby.
No, you continue to tell me throughout this podcast what goes over my head and what I do and don't understand. I don't need you to do that. No,
It doesn't
you're
matter
not
what
the
you
judge
need.
of
What
that.
you need is in fact.
No,
what
you need is stay in your lane and I'll stay in mine.
You want me to act a
I'm
certain
wrong.
way to make you feel
I have
better.
respected
It's
you,
your
and I
feelings
am
on
not trying to
facts.
tell you
Your
what you
feelings
do
on
and don't
facts.
understand.
To
That's
me,
not my
hurting you
place.
doesn't mean
I need you. You're not hurting me, sweet. You could never hurt me. My whole issue is I don't need you to continue to tell me what I do and don't understand and what went over my head. You're not the judge of that. Stay on the subject. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you my observation, and comment section. Y'all always tell me I'm wrong sometimes.
Me too, yeah.
So I might be wrong on this, and I know y'all not gonna
Hold
spare
back.
us. Yeah, spare my feelings.
Right.
I do see both perspectives, and I do feel like both perspectives were needed in this conversation.
Absolutely.
And importantly, I think what Tripp said is important to also digest, because you got to think, if you're poor and impoverished, the type of foods you're going to get is higher in sodium, processed.
Yes.
And so the opportunity to actually be afforded to eat healthier is not there. And if you are impoverished, maybe you got to spend 10.
But Ace, black women is the highest entrepreneurs and making the most money.
I know I'm doing my both sides.
So what you mean?
I'm doing my both sides.
So because
Black women making the most money and they're the highest rated entrepreneur.
So that takes away from the fact that they're still.
They got money for food.
So, but that still takes away. That takes away from the fact that's why motherfuckers don't. That's why we don't like you, bro.
So
That's
I'm
why we
so
don't like
glad you said it,
Yeah.
and it's noted.
you. Yeah, I just met you today. I didn't know
I'm
who the
so
fuck you
glad.
were before we got here.
No,
I
stop cussing at me.
It's the
Stop
ignorance.
cussing at me.
It's the ignorance and the lack of knowledge.
No, baby. So this is what we have a problem.
I'ma do
You
whatever
have
the
no
fuck I
right. You
wanna
ain't got to cuss at me. You ain't got to be
I'ma do
respectful. Have I
whatever.
respected you?
Yeah.
So you can do whatever you want. And then what? Then what
Yeah.
happens? You do whatever you want. Then what's the next move?
Yeah.
You're not
Then
being
I'm
very
wrong. Now
soft
we
about
talking.
it, really.
I have been respectful. I have been
So
respectful.
masculine.
I've been
So
respectful
masculine.
towards you. Y'all poke the bear. Then when someone check you, like,
You came in here upset. Yeah, you came in here upset.
Excuse me.
The fuck? When I tried to say hi, then you had an issue because I stitched a video. It's social media. How do you over it?
So yeah, I don't know if you guys heard that, but clearly Keita said she came in there acting different or acting weird. So clearly there was tension from the beginning. And again, like someone said, and I think a lot of people in our community don't understand this, or first of all, a lot of people don't understand. They're not self-aware. They're not self-aware of how they talk to people. Some people don't care, and some people don't understand their delivery, but delivery is everything. You can still have a conversation, agree to disagree, but how you say it is the issue. And so 6, I think, doesn't understand that, because she got upset because Keita, I guess, called her a bitch at the end, but she also said, bitch, you fat. We need to just stop being nice and just say, bitch, you're fat. So you come with that type of energy. That's the energy you're typically going to get. So yeah, it turned into a shit show at the end. And that's why I said from the beginning, I was like, where is this tension coming from? Because it was some heated ass tension, and these men did not control the conversation at all. And really, the conversation should have been between them, while the women ever so often came in. It was almost like 6 was the men in the situation, talking as if she was speaking for men, and she's a woman. So you guys, I put the link at the bottom of the chat. Let's have a discussion about this. I see Yuli is ready to go. Hey, Yuli, what's up?
Hey guys,
Hey,
How
hey,
y'all
hey,
doing
girl.
tonight? How y'all doing tonight?
Good, good, good. Because you definitely said you watched this podcast, so you watched this episode. So, what's your take on all of this?
This is my second time watching it. I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, from the get go, she was robbing me the wrong way, and it wasn't anything on the way that she was like addressing it. It was her, the exactly what you said, the way she addressed it. Like, cause I wouldn't mind if you said what you were saying. That's your mind. That's your way of thinking. But the way she was saying it, I felt like I was taking it personal. To be honest with you. And even the second time I heard it, now I was taking it personal too because I'm a big girl. And every single time that I get big, at least I'm able to recognize myself and say, "Shit, I'm getting to a point that I cannot even take me." You get what I'm saying? So now I'm gonna start taking care of myself. But for you, the way that she said things, it's like, girl, you got a nasty attitude. At least I can lose weight, but your attitude can never fucking change. Like, ew. Sorry, I'm cursing on your channel.
No, it's okay.
But she really got me like so mad. That's why the whole entire time I was trying to listen and understand what she was saying, but it just kept giving me that wrong vibe. Because don't get me wrong, yeah, you got women out there that are gonna be predators. It's the same way with men. Just like there is fuck boys, you will always find a fucker or you know a th, you know that
Yeah,
up
right.
exactly up the block. Obviously, it's something that you got one, you got the other. You can't, yin and yang. Unfortunately, but it's like how you're addressing things and the way you're saying things is putting us in a box and putting women in a box that I cannot agree with because it's all about preference. Yeah, it has a lot to do with the environment, but it's also a lot about preference because if it wasn't, where would we have 90 Day Fiance? Let's be freaking honest here.
All right.
These people go out their way to go get somebody. Yeah, they might have their ulterior motives and whatever, but it's a preference. You wouldn't go looking for something you're not interested in. That's why when I was like listening to this shit, all I kept saying is, dude, I don't look for men. When a woman goes out her door, when she wants to feel on herself, she ain't looking for no man. Let's be honest here. She's looking for herself. She's feeling herself. I mean, I never gone out and looked for a man. Every single man I got has come to me. I don't need to go to anybody.
Well, see, that's you, Yuli. You do have some women out there who probably purposely are doing a lot of things to get that attention from the opposite sex. You see what I mean? Like you have women out there who truly their whole existence and currency is about what the kind of attention they can get from men.
Exactly, but at that point, that's what I'm saying. There is a preference. There is an actual search. There is an actual capacity of you looking for these things. So what she was trying to bring up is basically that all women need to start doing these things to start losing weight to be able to catch these type of men. No, the man has actual preferences. If he likes this type of woman, then he'll go and look for this type of woman. He will attract himself to this type of woman. He will visit things that she would, that he will basically think that would be attracted to her. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a search between all this. So for her to generalize this whole impact kind of threw me off. Don't get me wrong though. The whole conversation kept driving me back and forth between the Monique and Derek situation.
Oh.
And that whole thing, I was like, yo, they took points out of this. I swear to God, he saw this podcast and he started taking notes out of oh shit. This whole
Well, let me
thing.
ask you. Well, here's the thing though. I find it interesting. Do you feel that this just proves that what the men are saying, and while granted is their honest opinion, I appreciate it. Is it that they're really showing their insecurity that the only way they can feel secure about themselves is that they have a certain type of woman on their arms? Even if she's shitty inside, they want a certain type of woman on their arms to be able to keep, I guess, that status. Does that say a lot about their own insecurities? While they talking about women insecurities, what about them? Because to me, if you're
It
seeking
also says a lot about society too.
yeah, like if you're seeking out a woman strictly based off of how she's going to look on your arm, and you don't care what she brings internally, morals, values, stuff like that, what does that really say about you? You know?
Yep. I think it comes down to something more. It's something that starts socially and starts gaining access as they grows older. Because if you notice, like we didn't really see this much of these type of situations until basically as time went on. Like we knew what fuck boys were back in the day. You know, they stayed in their corners, they did their own thing. But as soon as time went on, it kind of like started getting more and more impactful to the point that almost every single boy needs to recognize this by the time they're teenagers. I'm sorry to say it to the fact that that's probably the reason why we're having a lot of, you know, parents, single moms, single parents. We're getting kids are getting into the situation where they want to have a dime at their door, don't know what type of person him or she is, and hey, things happen. Life ends up happening while you're trying to discover whatever the hell you like or what is your preference, and then you end up getting stuck in this situation and a kid comes out of it. So yeah, it is something that's going on. It's something I believe that it has changed society to a point that most men and women are getting to this point.
Yeah, so
'Cause
social media is not making it any better either. Like it
exactly,
really
it's
isn't.
not.
Yeah, it really isn't. But the thing is, though, I appreciated the dialogue because even though her delivery was messed up,
Hmm.
the reality is you have a lot of women who think like her out there, and their
Exactly.
intention, while they claim it's about helping women, fine, but at the same time, the delivery of it sometimes, of course, and I don't think she cares. It will turn people off, but I just feel like the fact that she is giving all of this attention towards women, it's like, where do the men come into play? Where do the
Oh
men
no, they took a
start those
backseat on that.
and stuff like that? She didn't say anything about the man besides the fact that she hears these type of conversations all the time as if she understands where the man is coming from. But at the end of the day, it almost seems like you're saying they could do whatever as long as they have the currency to be able to do whatever. You know what I mean? It's
And
almost
that's another thing that I question on this whole thing is like, what type of men are you talking to then?
right.
Because my question on this was like, are you talking about the men that's down in Wall Street that has like five girls down the strip club, you know, in the gentleman's club down in Chambers Street? Or are you talking about the man that's down in the hood trying to feed his wife and three kids? Like, what's up? What type of man are you talking about? Because I'm thinking, and the whole entire thing, I'm thinking she's talking about the businessman.
Well, here's the
She's
thing
talking
also,
money,
though.
but
Here's the problem that I have too, and you guys let me know. I hate whatever happened in the chat happened because we actually had some people who were giving some different perspectives that I would have loved to come on the panel. But we also have to come into play about as far as our black and brown men and where they are in society as well. Our black and brown men, especially compared to us, the average amount of money they bring home versus us is not that much. In fact, they make less money than us. Most of them do. So my thing is that we're not dealing with other cultures and other races who have a decent amount of successful men who are still the breadwinners. They're bringing home the bacon, so to speak. They're the ones who are truly the providers. While the women are at home, being housewives. We typically don't have that luxury. And yet you're saying that we need to get ourselves together as if we have a lot of those men available to us in our community. That is not the case. Because let me tell you this, a boot camp class that I consistently used to go to all the time, it would be maybe just me in that class. The rest of the women that was in there, damn sure didn't look like me. All of them were housewives. All of them were well taken care of. They didn't have to lift a finger. So my whole thing is, if you claim that we need to do better to so-called get these men, what men are we getting? Because most of the men don't make in our community, and these are just facts, these are statistics. Most of the men in our community don't make more money than us. So my whole thing is, if she claims you have to do all of this to get that man or whatever the case may be, we don't, I mean, am I wrong to say we don't have that many men like that in our community? We
no, you're
just
not wrong.
don't.
No,
You know
you're
what I
not wrong.
mean? So it's like, so we're trying to be these quote unquote dime pieces for what? You taking me where? To go get a sandwich? You providing what? You know what I'm saying? A home? Or what assets are you bringing to the table? So you know what I mean? That's the thing. Again, when the boot camp I go to, this boot camp was expensive. No one looked like me in there, and these women were happy as I don't know what. They did everything they could to stay in shape, and I guess I would too if all I had to do was worry about taking care of the kids and staying in shape. But we have a
No,
lot
that
of
would
damn
be a dream.
responsibilities. We have a lot of damn responsibilities because we just don't have that variety of men in our community that, in my opinion, if you want me to do all of the stuff that she claimed that I need to do, first of all, you shouldn't do it for any man anyway. You should do it for yourself.
Exactly.
If that's what you want, you do it for you. But if you claim that you need to be a certain way or look a certain way to get a certain type of man, please let me know what men are out there in our community that are worthy of all the stuff that she was saying. Let me know, because again, a lot of the men that we have in our community, we make more money than them. Facts, statistics show that we make more money. So we're doing all of this for what? Which is why I said from the beginning, it needs to be about what we want for ourselves, because what's for you will come to you. That is just
Yeah.
strongly my opinion. What's for you will come to you. But doing all of this stuff, do you know how many women out there who are doing the surgeries, looking like dime pieces, and they still don't have the man that they want, and they doing all of this and they still don't have it? Come on. So it's like, this is what I'm saying. All of these dating gurus and people like that. I mean, let's just give an example. I mean, look, I wasn't a big fan of this guy. A lot of people were, but Kevin Samuels. This man roasted women all the time about being fat. Mind you, he was skinny and he had a lot of health issues. So this is an example of don't judge a book by its cover. And again, why are we trying to quote unquote, you telling us to get right, get tight for a man, when most of the time the men that we can select from, they don't have high currency either. Like they're not bringing really much to the table. So that's why I was just like, what's she saying? She says no other community talks like this when it comes to their women. Well, guess what? These other community of women, they have men who are still the breadwinners. They have men
That's
who are still providing assets. They have men who are providing properties, businesses, things like that. We don't really have that. Now, I'm not saying all men, of course, but for the most part, statistics show that our men are on the lower part of the totem pole. So there's a reason why there's a shift with us, probably versus other women and other races and other communities. I'm just saying. But go ahead, Yuli.
no, you're right. You're completely right. And it's not only just because of that, just because of just the simple fact of society, but it's also the simple fact of how much are we willing to teach? Because we gotta start teaching ourselves to value more of what our opinion is than what the man's opinion is. Because they're gonna look at us the way we want them to.
Right.
If you don't want him to look at you, then do whatever you can to not make him look at you, even though he's gonna look whenever he has a preference. But he won't come up to you unless you give him that, open case, hey, come up to me type of situation. Like that's another issue that she brought up that I really didn't like, was the simple fact is, oh, they're gonna come to you when you're needing them. No, but you're also gonna have to open the door to allow them in.
Yeah. And the thing is, if you work on yourself first, and that means internally, and then if you definitely externally want to work on some things, do both. If that's what you want to do, then the right energy, the right attraction will hopefully come. Like at the end of the day, this whole notion that you have to have the physical look and everything falls into place is such bullshit, because if that's the case, why do we have all of these so-called skinny, model looking beautiful women who are still single?
Yeah. No, you
So
gotta stop. We all gotta stop believing that fairy tale that shit is gonna fall into place. No, no,
right.
no, no, no. Nah, everything in life is a work, is a job, is a taking care, is a nurturing. You just don't have a kid and you leave them there and say, hey, everything is gonna take care of itself. No, honey, it's a sacrifice. So when you're coming up to the thought of, hey, I'm gonna go into this relationship, you're sacrificing yourself. So we gotta start thinking in this, in the sense of having a relationship as having a kid, in the sense that you're sacrificing. It's not your heart, it's not your mentality, it's your soul, because it's your peace that you're putting in the line. That's why when you come into a relationship, you got to come with the thought of, okay, I'm putting in 100% on the line, but they have to be willing to do the same. You don't give a man your whole 100 at the same time. You allow him to start chipping in little by little, just like you're chipping in little by little, and start, connecting those dots and making sure that something is lining up that will get in the path for a future. But you don't create that path like this is the little brick road. Shit don't happen like that. That's how you get hurt and you get entangled. Great example, Blasian. Let's not go far.
You said
That
who?
right there, Blasian. Let's not go
Oh,
far. That's it.
well,
You
we
just
are
you
not
can.
even just. I mean, let's look at the situation with. I mean, we've seen plenty of beautiful women go under the knife, and we don't understand why they're going under the knife. We was just talking about that with Jackie O. Beautiful girl. When she literally went under the knife, when they showed that picture, I was like, I'm confused on why she went under the knife. But again, it's the pressures of society, the pressure of men. We don't know internally how she felt about herself. So again, you have the situation where they say your physical appearance is currency, but again, internally, what's really going on? And that's what Keita was trying to say. Internally, what's going on? Because the moment that something physically doesn't work anymore, you're trying to fix it. If you were truly internally happy with yourself and had the confidence and everything else, you would embrace certain things that may shift or change. Because as we get older, I don't care how much surgery you're going to be able to have, things are going to shift and change. You know what I mean? So we just have to get to that point where it's like, be happy with yourself and the right man will come along. Be happy with yourself. Now, you can get surgery if that's what you want to do, go ahead. But at the same time, internally, if everything is effed up, you still going to end up getting the effed up type of man, period.
Exactly.
But on that note, Yuli, I appreciate it. It looks like I don't know what happened. You guys, do you guys know what happened in the chat? I'm so confused. We were having some good dialogue, and the next thing you know, people started leaving left and right. I don't know what happened. I don't know if insults were made, but at this point, I may have to get a mod or
Yeah,
two.
I didn't see anything. That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but literally, and there were some women in here who had different perspectives that I would have loved to
Yeah.
hear. And now they're gone. They were like, I'm leaving. And I'm like, what in the heck happened? Because there were some people who said, look, your dating circle drastically, or your options drastically change when you lose weight. I wanted to hear that perspective. But now
Yeah.
we may have to wrap this up because it seems like a lot of, I don't know what happened, you guys. I apologize. I thought this was going to be really a good, healthy debate conversation, but something happened in the chat and I wish it didn't happen. I just put the link down there. If one person does want to come up and kind of speak their piece on the situation, or maybe like sometimes when the live is over, people feel more comfortable putting their comments below under the video versus, on the live. But it was definitely heated. It was, and I hate yet again, we have our women who literally get into it, and these men are just looking on as if we can't have a healthy conversation without agreeing to disagree in a healthy way. And that's what happened, for example, on that show. They got into it and they already had tension, and by the end, bitches and everything else was thrown and people was walking off the stage and stuff. We got to get to a point where we can, even in our disagreements, we can still be able to have respect for each other. But a lot of that also comes in the energy that you put out there. If you put out bad energy, if you put out that type of energy, you got to understand and be self-aware that that energy is going to come back. And I don't think Six understood the energy she was putting out there, or maybe she just doesn't care. But I think she clearly, whatever happened, she shifted the energy. She
Or it
shifted.
could be the possibility that she just believes that her body is a transaction, and that's how her mentality is. Hey, that could be her mantra, her therapy is making it happen.
Yeah.
Everybody got a way of realizing their own self worth. I mean, I wouldn't put it on myself to start realizing myself and the self worth of how others see me, but then again, it's on them.
Yeah, it's what that Gigi, you can find it's called Tonight's Conversation. They actually have their own app. And you can go on there. They charge you, but they do have a free 7-day trial if you want to actually go on there and check it out, the whole entire episode. And they also have clips on YouTube as well. But I thought it was definitely an interesting conversation, and I thought for sure we were going to get different perspectives. And at one point we did, but something happened. So with that, my apologies for those. I don't know what happened in the chat. If something happened, my apologies. I didn't see it. Please come back, you guys, because again, I want this to be a safe space, but we just have to be careful of how we talk to each other. Just be mindful, you know what I mean? And just kind of think before we type or speak. So then that way people can feel comfortable, because now it has gone left for whatever happened. I'm gonna have to do a replay on this to see what went wrong. But everyone is still, of course, welcome to come back, you guys. We definitely need to be able to get along with each other and just agree to disagree. It's not that serious. It really isn't that serious, you guys. Especially as Black women, we should be able to talk amongst each other, agree to disagree, and just move forward, you know? So it's okay, Yuli. It's okay. I'm wrapping it up. So on that note, you guys, I appreciate you taking time out to have this discussion today. I guess the final notes are, can successful men want bigger women or be with bigger women? I think so. We do have men out there who do like bigger women. You know what I mean? Does it, at the end of the day, I guess it really depends on what you're looking for in a relationship. If you're just looking for currency, there's a certain type of, I guess, physical appearance and all of that stuff that comes with that. That's what you're going to aim for. It seems like Six is all about transactions when it comes to relationships. Because she's all about transactions, she's going to do whatever she can to get the transaction. That's what it seems like. So I guess it depends on what you're looking for. But the mentality of a successful man won't date a bigger woman, I don't think that's the case, because you do have men out there who low key do like bigger women, and that's just what it is. But at the same time, internally, everybody needs to work on themselves, because even the men, while they were being honest, it sounds like they had some internal things that they could work on as well. You know what I mean? They definitely, because again, it sounds like they were insecure where they want a certain woman on their arms to make them feel better about themselves. So it's like everybody had their own internal issues going on. So yeah, you want to do what you want to do, that's fine. But I would say do it for you. And if you do it for you and you work on you, the right person will come along. And that's my take on it. But yeah, you guys check out that podcast and then check out this live. And then if you actually want to give your commentary at the bottom on the comments, by all means, maybe that would be the best way and the safest way to have our dialogue when it comes to this conversation versus a live chat. But with that being said, I thank you guys for sticking with me today. Again, my apologies. I don't know what happened, but maybe we can just continue this dialogue later on in the chat, in the comment section. Love all of you guys. You guys have a wonderful and safe day. I don't know if I don't know if I'm going to have a live chat this weekend. You know, it's 4th of July weekend. I'm about to enjoy myself, damn it. Unless something happens, I'm probably not going to have a live chat. I am going to do my pre-recorded videos on shows though. But with that being said, please like, share, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I will see you guys on my next video or my next live. Love you guys. Toodles.